This is what happens when the fourth turning meets fifth generation warfare.
A commentator, international social media sensation, and former Navy intelligence veteran.
This is Human Events with your host, Jack Posobiec.
Christ is king.
The epidemic of left-wing violence and Antifa-inspired terror has been escalating for nearly a decade.
President Donald Trump's Department of Justice is moving swiftly to prosecute alleged members of Antifa after he signed an executive order declaring the militant anti-fascist movement a domestic terrorist organization.
Out of our state.
These are agitators, anarchists, and they're paid.
Accused of causing chaos and destruction, especially in American cities like Seattle and Portland.
They want to overthrow the government.
But extremism researchers like Karlin Borisenko say in order to fully understand what fuels this decentralized network.
And so you're going to get a really inside look at like the agenda of the far left.
The Bay Area Anarchist Book Fair in Oakland is where to begin.
A lot of this stuff is about doing illegal stuff like...
We just have to sort of watch our backs here.
I got you. A lot of this comes from their publishing company called Crime Think.
Borisenko and I recently went undercover and discovered a disturbing world that goes beyond t-shirts and New York Times best-selling authors.
And this one literally says anti-fascist action.
Training martial arts for anti-fascism. They are a decentralized group, that's very true, but it's like this is how they coordinate, is through the zines, through the publications, things like that.
Borisenko says this is where the radical left organizes, recruits, and indoctrinates the next generation of Antifa militants.
So if I take this? Yeah. Thank you.
Generously giving away free propaganda material on how to mobilize for a violent direct action. Selling soccer scarves to fundraise for an Antifa bail fund.
Basically for folks that get into trouble with the government crackdown, what do you think is going to happen now?
It's a good question.
And pushing tons of material.
Yep, we're a bookstore and art gallery.
Like these XXX LGBTQ comic books, easily accessible to children. Then there are the workshops, including a DIY abortion session, where organizers claim women's reproductive rights are under attack in America.
I know some of you have heard about our abortion cards.
Teaching attendees how to make their own morning after pills through this video.
Second stop so that you clear it, and that's all that it takes.
That's easily accessible on YouTube.
First dose left. Misoprostol is an incredibly safe drug. It's safer than Tylenol.
Abortion is critical to far left strategies because they believe it liberates women from being a part of the gender binary. The gender binary is one of the oppressive mechanisms of capitalism, and so if they can liberate women from the reproductive obligations that they have as women to raise kids in capitalist families and stuff like that, they believe that's a blow to capitalism.
Can I get a ice?
The all-day sessions ended with a panel on organizing against ICE. Representatives from NorCal Resist dressed up as Hamas terrorists in what they're now calling coffee-a-bloc, instead of black bloc, since they know federal authorities are scrutinizing Antifa more than ever.
We have implemented things to counter their tactics, so we're constantly evolving, forcing them to change.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard today's edition of Human Events Daily. We are here live on Real America's Voice. Today is October 22nd, 2025, Anno Domini. Folks, absolutely amazing news. This is something that I've had for a little while, but of course have had to keep under wraps. Even though I heard about it, of course, certain things you just have to hold off for opsec purposes. Turning Point USA, the Frontlines street journalism team, infiltrated Antifa this past weekend. 2 cells of Antifa in 2 separate states and in 2 separate cities. And we are going to be interviewing members of the team that participated in that infiltration very soon here on today's episode. So for all the people who want to say that Antifa is not real, that the organization doesn't exist, that, oh, they're decentralized, they don't have a real leader, they don't have... No. It's a joke, it's a lie, and it's always been one. Antifa is the international arm of communism. They are the militant wing of communism, and they have been for 100 years. They even have an Antifa professor. His name is Dr. Antifa, Mark Bray. He's over in Spain for some reason on the taxpayer dime out in New Jersey. Well, TPUSA did not take this lightly, and in fact spent the weekend not only having people, so Frontlines, the amazing thing about what these guys do, the men and women of Frontlines, not only do they literally put themselves into harm's way, and you saw many of them featured at the president's roundtable there at the White House. They're out there in Portland, they're out there in Seattle, they were in Chaz, they were in so many different things where bullets are flying, where tear gas is whizzing past them, where they're getting up close and personal with these radicals. But what does Antifa do when they're not out in the streets? Where do they go? How do they organize? How do they plan? Turning Point USA, Frontlines, is going to take you where they went, inside the Antifa cells, inside their planning, inside their ideological radicalization. And we will have them on to answer any questions. So, by the way, send your questions in 1776 at humanevents.com. That's 1776 at humanevents.com. Make sure that we get every single question answered that you want, because this was no joke. These are people who are marked men, people that Antifa have a kill list out for. And we know that the kill orders went out after that roundtable of Antifa at the White House featuring the president. But you know something? We're not backing down. We're doubling down. This infiltration operation was a massive success, and we've got the information and all the details, and of course, as always, the receipts. Coming up next, Human Events Daily. Right back.